Hey there, everyone. I hope you are all doing good. Today, we are going to take a look at the new Polyphonic Envelope from Verbos Electronics. The idea behind this envelope, to make it simple, is that you have one set of control, attack, hold, decay, that controls effectively 4 envelopes. If all the knobs are at noon, the 4 envelopes will share the same length. Let's start by patching a very simple sound. Let's go CV to 1 volt per octave, gate to gate 1. You can see that we are triggering envelope number 1. And this envelope is going to control our VCA, the QMMG over there. I've chosen to put a lot of reverb on this. So, let's put everything at 0. We have the hold. That's probably one of the most uncommon thing about this envelope. But let's start with the attack, which is quite classic. We hear it holding a little bit because it probably sends out 10 volts and the QMMG is expecting 8 to fully open, which leads us to this, which is very handy, even just for this kind of case. This means that the first envelope is lower than the other one in output. So we can adapt it here for the QMMG. It's a bit too much. That's good. So this is the kind of triggered envelope. I mean, even if it's a gate, it will hold as long as we hold the note, but it is triggering when you send a signal into it, meaning it will do the full. It will do the shape full, the complete one fire, attack, hold, decay. So what I was saying about the hold, it's normal for an ADSR or ASR envelope that it will hold as long as you leave your finger on the keyboard. But this one has a controllable amount of time for the hold, which we'll see later. It's quite fun with sequences such as this one. Okay, so this is the basic. So as I said, you can choose the level of this here. So the next one will be a bit higher. So let's make this sound a bit more complex. I will take this output. This one is going to become a low-pass filter. I will control still this one with the second one. With the first one, sorry. And this with the second one. And I will have to mult this if I want the 2 envelopes. So I can control the level of those from here. The first one will be the less active and the second one a bit more, which is why this one, the lower one, is going to filter and this one to the amp. Let's patch some modulation to this, like a simple LFO. Very slow. We have a bipolar attenuator over there. So this is fun. Okay, this is the very basic way to do things. Now let's see what makes this quite special. The cascade trigger. Let's use a trigger. So what this is, it's basically like if you add one of those 281 type of envelope and that you plugged your trigger over there, but then that you will take the end of this one, plug it to the trigger of this one, and again, etc., etc. So every time you shoot one trigger or gate into this, and it will trigger all the others. And you can choose what will trigger the others. So here, if I go to hold, it doesn't work because this, they will all fire basically at the same time. So now, instead, as I'm going to use triggers, this is when the hold it's starting to get interesting. Let's control the hold with this LFO. You can see the length of the notes is being changed. Let's do the same with the decay too. This is fun. And this will let you do a lot of things. So you could, for example, now decide also to make all the envelopes after the first one have a longer attack. Oh, this is the opposite. This is the first one getting a longer attack and after the shorter, and this is... It lets you do some weird delay patch kind of stuff. So let's now patch something more interesting with this. I will use the end out actually. So basically those are firing one after the other. I will use the mix out from the QMG. And I will plug something different into all of these inputs. I will sync this oscillator. Fun. So basically this is the basic settings for envelope 1, and then you can alter all this. Now let's add a third thing. Let's modulate this guy. Frequency. Patch. This is pretty violent. So here we will have like... They're all related because they all depend on this oscillator, which is the one getting the 1 volt per octave. I love it for this kind of keyboard patch where you have some sort of a delay things going on. Let's now patch this sequencer style. That's fun. So here I am deciding that all those envelopes are falling, the volume of each of those is falling one after the other. gets the opposite. We're not really using the top one. So what we could do here is to use this end out and patch it here. So it will start to loop and become an LFO related to all the others. And we could use that to modulate stuff. Like this. Okay, now I make a little beat with this little guy here. And I will use the trigger out to advance. Let's patch something. Okay, so let's send this to our envelope to trigger everything. Now let's put everything back to 0. My cat is snappy. I'm not taking care of her right now because I'm showing you stuff. I'm a bad parent. Let's go 2 low pass gate in a row. This should make a good start. This was quite okay actually as a melody if I remember well. Okay. So let's trigger all at the same time. From there we can patch some sort of velocity, controlling the level of the envelopes and going backward like this. Or if you want a more basic approach to velocity, you could put this at the minimum and then rise this. Okay, from there, using the ref, I'm going to clock the random here. This is going in this attenuator and controlling all the time. And we can control other stuff with the other envelopes. Such as timbre, the amount of amplitude modulation from the synced oscillator. We can have lots of pretty fun sounds from this. We can still... I like to loop the last one, I don't know why. And let's use this one for this. Let's go band pass gate. That's good. One other patch I want to show you with this, because this makes it so easy, is to make a clap. Okay, so how does a clap work? We need some white noise into a bandpass filter, basically. Let me remove that reverb. So So now, as I'm taking the mix out, we are hearing both. Okay, that's what we want. This will be the tone of the clap. And I will trigger this. Let me remove the clap from the wait. This will be our clap signal. It works on the end, so everything after the other. Then we send this into a VCA. And we can take the all out, which is the mix of all the envelopes. Here. And we can make them longer as they go. And also a bit softer in volume as they go. Not the best clap in the world though, I have to admit. But this goes for any kind of weird sounds like this. Okay, so this is the patch I've done for a short live jam session recently. I will unpatch it and I will explain you what I've done, as this is one of the things I like to do with the Verbos system in general attached to a drum machine, and it does make a lot of sense with the Polyphonic Envelope. Okay, our sound source will be the harmonic oscillator into one channel of the QMG in low pass mode. We are going out of a second one in VCA mode. We are going into the multi-delay processor for mostly reverb. One thing I like to do is to just bring the QMG resonance to drive just a little bit. That's good. Then we have a beat over there. Oh. While I'm here, if you want your sequence to start at the beginning, put the analog knob at max strobe, so you're there, and when you start over there, you're synced. So, instead of using this classic gate out and stuff, we are going to trigger different envelopes using the individual gates there. So we use the mix out, which is like an OR of all the envelope, and this one will open the VCA. Okay, that's good. Now we will use the other envelopes. That's here. To like modulate parameters over there. Like harmonics. So as each envelope is opening the VCA, we have sound anytime an envelope is triggered. Okay, that's cool. Now, let's not forget that we can also do this at the same time. that's one of the things I really like with this, because this will strobe all of them, and you can get some very cool results depending on how your envelopes are set and how this is set as well. That's cool. And now we have all the other stuff to play around with. And like the other patch I did for the jam session, I will advance the sequence selector with the first step over there and try to make a pitch sequence out of this. Same as I did the other time, I will use one of the CV row to control. Actually, let's focus on the envelope. Let's put everything at minimum. Here we have the gates opening for the length of the pulse there. But we can use this to mess around with those parameters. So let's make the envelope after the first one longer. That's interesting. With this, let's make the delay longer, decay longer. It starts there. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's lots of sweet spot to be found in these kind of things. Actually, let's bring the saw wave here in low pass gate mode. That's fun. And to finish with this, let's create some random values and send that to the tilt. So in this case, like the first envelope will always be at max and the other one will be randomly less loud. Or we can do the opposite. That's pretty fun. Also, I don't know if you know, but if you clock the VMS externally, if you put the time too long, it will stop making gates and stuff. So that's the last bit of fun. Let's plug the random back into it. Okay, so I've brought in the good old AMEG oscilloscope for this last bit of thing. So we can see I've plugged in all output. So we can see all the envelope at once, I guess. What I wanted to do is to show you, it's a classic trick of in the surge world especially, is to make the envelope more exponential or logarithmic, as I guess those are linear. So let's check. Let's do the same attack. Yeah, it does look like linear. I'm going to send a gate from there to the trigger cascade thing. You can see there's some spike there, that's weird. We are going to send this through this in VCA mode with a simple saw wave. Let's get out of here. We are monitoring the all out. Let's check. Okay, this one doesn't have the spike, so it makes sense. If I want to make this a little bit more sharp, I need to, because there's no shape controller there. Okay, what you need to do is to mold the envelope, patch it to something where you can invert, so the small CVP over there, and send back that result into, yes, the stage you want to change. So now you can see, the more we invert the feedback of the envelope into itself, into its control, the more we have an exponential response. On the other side, it will become anti-exponential logarithmic sort of thing. It will work with anything except, of course, the old, as it doesn't have any curves. I don't know what it will do, actually. Let's check. Let's check with attack. You can have like very... Also, I guess we could do that as well from the master mix out, and it will work for every envelope. It might do some weird stuff if we make them, yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Ooh. So yeah, if it's not snappy enough for you, and you have either a small CVP like this or the big Verbos one, or the upcoming Bookland Tip Top one will do the trick nicely. Anything that can invert will work. Okay, let's say that it's done for today. I will go back to this at some point for sure. Oh, well, nothing that you can use both the individual gate in and that infamous cascade trigger. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. I will put some of those sequence and sounds on Patreon, as always. And feel free to comment, subscribe, and whatever to please the infamous YouTube algorithm. Bye bye, everyone.